Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Interviewing the Legends. I'm your host, Ray Shasho, the daughter of Ken Lane, who wrote songs for Dean Martin, and a mother who was a fashion model. Robin grew up in Los Angeles. She was part of the music community in the late 1960s. In Laurel Canyon, she collaborated with members of Crazy Horse and sang with Neil Young on Round and Round. On his album, Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere. After a 2-year marriage with future Police guitarist Andy Summers, who we've had on this show twice, in the late 1970s, Robin left LA behind and moved to Boston. She formed Robin Lane and the Chartbusters, integrating punk and new wave with West Coast folk and East Coast rock. There are 3 albums for Warner Brothers where Robin Lane and the Chartbusters in 1980, the live EP 5 Live, and Imitation Life in 1981. The rock radio charting song When Things Go Wrong became the 11th music video played on MTV on its first broadcast day in 1981. Robin's latest release is Dirt Road to Heaven, a collection of Americana music that sounds great alongside artists such as Brenda Carlisle and Joan Baez. Please welcome American rock singer, songwriter, and teacher, best known for her band Robin Lane and the Chartbusters, Robin Lane, to Interviewing the Legends. Hello, Robin. I want to talk about Dirt Road to Heaven. I gave it 5 stars, if that's okay. I love it. You've got a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
But you know what? It's so different than the Chartbusters, and you really shine on this album. It's great. It's a great album.
Thanks.
What I said about it, I said Robin's beautiful voice and breathtaking lyrics are heavenly. Where did your country roots come from?
Well, I don't know. Country music to me, when I was growing up, was the Everly Brothers.
Right.
And people like that. There was always that influence. I think I always had it. I always had all kinds of music written in my soul, as my friend Bill Flanagan wrote a book about.
Mm-hmm.
But I think music, all different types of music was always there. I don't know. When I think of Buddy Holly, I think of kind of country too.
True.
Not that it's per se.
Right.
It's not Haggard or any of those guys. I started listening to, what they call country, what I think is real country. Back when I was first doing music. Hank Williams and Loretta Lynn.
Right.
I don't know what it is now. I suppose it's country, but it's also country pop. So Your question was, where did the country come from?
Yes.
America.
Well, I meant your roots. I mean, you got, California, you got Boston, I guess, you're right. I mean, there's country music like Hoyt Axton. You can even say Linda Ronstadt's got some country in her. And then there's the guys that are country pop, and some of the lyrics are ridiculous. Like, I kicked my dog and I'm wearing cowboy boots. Really dumb lyrics. I don't get into that, but
I kicked my dog.
I've heard that before.
Oh my God.
But you're right. The Everly Brothers, they have that little bit of flair, but it's not real country. It's just like it's hard to explain it.
That movie came out about Loretta Lynn.
Right.
That was kind of a knock on the head. But I think I was listening to stuff. I met people that were really into country music, and I used to stay a lot at this house in Laurel Canyon, Rocket House,
right?
With Billy Talbot and Danny Whitten lived there, and people used to come there to buy pot. and Graham Parsons came there.
Oh boy.
And he would just talk about crying when he put on the Grand Ole Opry.
Right.
Yeah, and so I went, well, what is this stuff? And I listened, and I liked it. And I always loved that Appalachian sound.
Mm-hmm.
You might hear some of that on Dirt Road to Heaven, a little bit of influence.
But you're sophisticated country, you know. I mean, beautiful lyrics, incredible lyrics, and some of those tracks can make you cry. You know, you got a couple of songs there that are beautiful.
Wow, thank you.
I'm going to mention some of those songs. First of all, some of those songs, is it true they were co-written by some of the members of the workshop? Did they have a little influence?
Which one was that? I can't remember right now.
I'm not sure which one, but I just read some of the notes. They say that over the years, some of the women have, with trauma.
Faded Leaves, yeah, that was written in a workshop I did out on Nantucket with a bunch of, not too many women, but some women.
Right.
Yeah, and I don't remember their names. And if I make tons of money, I'll make sure.
Make sure they get their share.
And Love Song's Refrain was also written in a workshop that I did. With
Dirt Road to Heaven. That is such a catchy song. And no, I'm sorry, not Dirt Road to Heaven. Women Like That. That's a very catchy song. I love that tune. That's the one that really got me hooked on your album.
Oh, good. The video comes out tomorrow.
Really? I'm looking forward to that. Huh.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy video for a pretty mean girl song, right?
I love it.
My daughter goes like, "Mom, you're so mean." But, it was cathartic. You know, you have to, if something's happening to you and it's yuck, write a song.
Exactly. It's good therapy. It really is.
It's been my therapy.
Yeah. Well, listening has been my therapy. I don't write music. I write books, but and that's my therapy too, I guess. But the song, that could be a soundtrack to a movie, you know, Woman Like That. The lyrics, I mean, why do I have to know a woman like that? I can't get that woman off my back. She comes around demanding a piece of my time. Why does she want to be a friend of mine? I mean, did you have anybody in mind when you wrote this?
Duh. Yes, I did. To be honest with you, as people like to say, I hate that. To be honest with you, because I wasn't honest before.
Mm-hmm.
And all the other times I ever said anything. To be honest with you, that is about a person. Okay.
Sounds like it. Sounds like you just got it off your chest, you know, in this song, you know. She'd call me in the middle of the night and ask me, you know, and I mean, and I could see how that would bother you a little bit.
Well, I mean, not if she had been nice.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't nice.
She wasn't nice,
really.
Yeah.
I mean, not really, but the thing of it is she'd had a lot of trauma in her life. But
right.
Back in those days, I didn't understand how that could affect you later and how it came out in certain ways. And she had her problems.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel bad now. I hope she doesn't hear it, but she may.
Yeah.
Because, you know, somebody could certainly write a song about me, maybe not like that, but
mm-hmm.
maybe they don't want to know me for whatever reason.
Right. Well, the lyrics are great. I love it.
Thank you.
Another one, Hard Life. It's got a great beat. Love the rhythm. Sounds like a classic from yesteryear, you know? It's really? Another great tune, yeah.
What kind of a classic from yesteryear? You make me want to smoke.
Hey, if you got them, smoke them.
cigarettes to roll around here somewhere, but I don't. They're not in the vicinity, so I don't smoke. But you know, you make me want to.
Yeah.
I do in the video, in Woman Like That video.
Oh wow, really?
You know how people smoke because they need to breathe.
Yeah, yeah.
And once you learn to breathe, well, you know, it's bad to smoke. But anyway, go ahead with Hard Life. I'm interested.
It's a great song. Just a really good song. I love the ending. Great ending. A funny title is Honey Dumber. That to me a little sounded like a little bit like Linda Ronstadt for some reason. It was kind of that, you know, melody or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Then you have Faded. Go ahead.
It's cool. I like this whole album, obviously.
It's a great album.
I don't dislike anything on this album.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And I'm honest, you know, I'll let you know, but I really like this album. I'm not a big country lover, but the way you sing and your lyrics are just outstanding. You know, it's a very well made, you know, it's a great album. It's a very good album. That's why I gave it 5 stars. And there are a couple of tracks that are very country sounding too, like Rodeo Clown. To me, that sounds like you should be drinking beer at a honky tonk, you know?
They were playing that in Boston. I'm going, interesting. And my friend, well, back in the day, do you have the Everybody Knows This Is Nowhere album there?
Somewhere.
You can open it up and you'll see my friend. Back in the day, he was called Baby John.
Okay.
Or Bruce.
Right.
Now he's Will W. Fuqua. Or Fuqua. However you say that. But he wrote that song.
Oh, really? Huh.
Yeah, and he is, if you open the album of, you know, the Neil Young album with Crazy Horse,
yep.
you will see him leaning up against a wall with a dog against him. And he's a good friend of mine still. And yeah, he wrote that song. He went out with Neil and Crazy Horse. He was the light guy, the roadie, sound man. And here's his song, Rodeo Clown.
Great song.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good song. Now, you got a video out there with Faded Leaves, right? I saw the video. Now, what's with the goat? Is that your goat?
No, little princess. It's my friend's goat. Oh, what a nice goat. Goats are so nice.
I love goats. I'm like you. I like goats.
You could have a goat as a pet in your house almost. Well, except they'd eat everything.
They eat everything. Cans. Yeah.
What a nice goat that was. Yeah, that was just like kind of a homemade video by my friend Magic Squirrel.
Okay.
On his property, which is up the road from me. I'm out in the here.
Great song. Faded Leaves. Beautiful song. Talk about Last Cute Minute. Talk about that one.
Now there's a country song for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my friend and I were sitting on a rock in a river. There's a lot of rivers here that who is like, leave me alone. The phone keeps like, yeah, there's a lot of rivers, and we were sitting on a rock in a river, and we were just looking at ourselves, and we were thinking we were pretty cute for like getting older. And then we just came up with that song, She and Me.
And it is a cute song.
My last few minutes.
Yeah.
Got to take advantage while I can. Got to get me some good loving, but he's going to have to be a special kind of man.
Right.
In those days, though, like, I mean, he might be on Social Security now, and that's okay.
That's okay.
Right?
I'm on Social Security. Sitting on a rock by the river. I mean, that's another. That sounds like a song title. You just said that. Yeah.
Sitting on a rock in a river.
In a river, yeah, I like that. That could be catchy.
Yeah. I've got to turn this off.
Somebody's
Joanne,
after this.
No, can I call you right back?
Yeah, I can edit that. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah. No Fear, another great track. Awesome acoustic.
No, that was written with a fellow named Danny Hillis.
Okay.
Do you know him?
I don't.
Look him up.
Okay. Danny Hillis.
He's a scientist, an inventor. He invented parallel processing.
Oh.
He had a company called Thinking Machines.
That I heard of. I heard of Thinking Machines.
And and then he worked for Disney. Like, anyway, he was a really good friend. I haven't seen him in a while, but I used to write songs with him sometimes.
Right. That's one of my favorites. Hurricane Watch is another favorite, which is a beautiful song.
No Fear is one of your favorites?
No Fear was one of my favorites. I marked these as favorite tracks.
Yeah, that's really kind of wild, isn't it? Like the way it changed. And I've been listening to one of my favorite albums is Lindsey Buckingham's first album. And he just like kind of goes everywhere on that album.
Yeah.
I love that album. Do you know the one I'm thinking of?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
This letter C, not Cats, not Cradle, but something like that. Anyway, it has a million great songs on it, and they all kind of change, like in different ways within the song. So, yeah.
Great tune. Like I said, Hurricane Watch is another beautiful song. We mentioned Rodeo Clown, which is drinking beer at a honky tonk. I mean, that's a great tune. Love Song's Refrain, again, a beautiful track. I want to mention your old bandmate. Is it Asa Brebner?
Asa.
Is that Asa?
Yeah,
Asa Brebner.
Asa.
Asa.
Name right up, plucked from the Bible. And his parents were absolutely non-religious.
Yeah.
Anyway, Asa was one of my guitar players in my band.
And he passed away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shame. But he wrote Sunshine Blue Skies, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That song could have been a top 40 hit. That in my opinion, that's a hit.
It is a hit.
Yeah. The beginning of that, the intro sounds like the Byrds a little bit. Reminds me of the Byrds.
Well, I think my band, I was totally influenced by the Byrds and the 12-string guitar and all that.
Yep.
In my band too. And
Roger McGuinn. Yep.
So, and yeah, actually the person that played that on that recording wasn't Lisa. There's this fellow around Boston who put together a bunch of different musical artists doing Ace's songs after he died. So the person that played guitar on that song, Pat Wallace, just died.
Really? Man, oh man. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
What?
I can't believe everybody that we're losing here in the music industry. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's actually scary.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. How are you scared by it? It kind of brings home like your own mortality.
It does, because I know I'm the next generation after some of these guys, and actually my generation, we're dying young. My dad's generation, they're living till 90 and 100 years old, but I can't tell you how many friends I lost, like in their 50s and 60s,
Why?
Well, my best friend committed suicide, and really shocked me when that happened, because I didn't see that coming. But we grew up together as kids, and I don't know. He just couldn't take it, I guess. It was tough.
Well, you hang in there.
Yeah.
I mean, suicide is a weird thing because it kind of like, once somebody does it, it's almost like becomes an epidemic.
It does. Look at all the 90s artists that committed suicide, like.
Yeah. What's with that?
I don't know, Chris Cornell, and it's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It just, everybody has those feelings sometimes, but things change. They're always changing.
I want to see how it ends at the end. Our life is like a movie. We got to see how it ends, or a book.
Why turn it off before the end?
Exactly. Well, you got two other albums. You're out that album, 5 stars all the way. It's fantastic. All the critics should love that album, and if they don't, they need to speak to me because they don't know what they're doing.
Everybody has so far.
Yes.
Said great things about it.
Yeah, you should be very proud.
Yeah, hope it goes somewhere other than my hometown. No.
Well, you need people like me to promote it.
I need somebody to do it. I don't know. Something to happen. Hopefully it will.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll get consideration for a Grammy nod, and I guess that would be next year's Grammy, right?
But if anybody like that hears it.
Yeah. A lot of bands that I've reviewed albums were, actually considered for Grammys this year. So I think it's very possible, and they're not big artists either. So I think they're looking around. What's that?
And you're the key.
That's it.
There you go.
Yeah, they look at if I have a 5-star review, then it catches their attention.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. So the vibes are out there for you, Robin. Next year's Grammys.
Well, I hope that I'm coming from the soul and not just the ego.
No, you are.
Yeah.
I can tell. I can tell in your lyrics. Definitely.
I hope so.
And your voice is incredible. I mean, that you really shine in this album. Your voice shines. It really does.
With my band, with the Chartbusters, I'd always been a singer because I was a songwriter. And then when I started my band, I wanted to make a point, and I was kind of like doing the anti-singing.
Right.
And I remember there was this one guy, a DJ from Colorado, that wouldn't play us because he said I sounded like a drowning trout.
Wow.
Which
I've never heard that before.
Well, yeah, but maybe I did. When you think of that. I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you're singing in this style now. I mean, the Chartbusters were great, but it's different. It's a different type of animal. You know what I mean? And this is so much. It just enhances your voice. It makes your voice what it really is. I think. It's great.
I mean, one time, one of my guitar players, we made an album together in 2003 called Peace of Mind.
Right.
And I was singing, and it's when we were singing with the Chartbusters, and I was in the studio, and he goes, and he was a drinker, and he goes like, "Who do you think you are, Astrid Gilberto?" So that's when I really stopped the singing thing, unfortunately, because we might have gone further.
Yeah. Well, you guys were really popular. You had some, really good hits out there. And I want to mention, first of all, Instant Album, which consists of all your solo material as well from your 40-year career. That's out.
It spans.
Yeah.
It has a song that I wrote about my son that I gave up adoption way long time ago.
Right.
So that song was written in 1969.
Wow.
And then some of the songs were written and recorded later, even in the 2000s and teens, but they'd never been released.
Huh.
Only one song had been released on a Rock for Wood album. It's Your World. That's a good song.
I'm going to get that. I'm definitely going to get that.
Oh, Instant Album?
Yeah, definitely. I don't have it. No.
Okay, I can send it to you.
Okay. Or a link. I'll take anything. MP3s, doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then the other one, many years ago, which is a 3D complete career retrospective of Robin Lane and the Chartbusters. And you also have never before released studio and live recordings as well, and rare demos. So that's a gem. That's a real gem. So you got some good stuff out there.
You like me. You really
I do like you. I wouldn't be reviewing your album if I didn't like you, because I never say anything bad about people's albums, because that's not right. Like Rolling Stone will bash people. I don't do that. You know, I only interview people I like.
You know, there's a rock critic from Boston named Steve Morse.
Steve Morris, okay.
He's not doing it anymore.
Right.
But I noticed early on that he would never say anything negative about somebody. He just wouldn't review them. He'd always say, he was very kind. And,
right. I'm the same way.
And, yeah.
Listen, I want to keep the good music alive, too, you know? I want to keep good music alive, you know, because what's happened over the last 20 years in commercial radio, I don't like it. Yeah, I grew up in the 60s, you know?
What has happened?
Well, the rap, you know, I'm not a big fan of rap music. I'm not a big fan of like the Taylor Swifts, that kind of, or the dance music. You know, it's just too poppy, and you know, I like good musicians and great vocalists, and I love great lyricists. You know, I can appreciate those type of musicians, and you know, they use a lot of auto tune and things like that today. So, you know, it's kind of fake. You know, it's a lot of fake stuff out there. Yeah,
it's too bad too, because that's what's played, and I hear, you know, sometimes my daughter will put on music like that.
Right.
But I don't get it.
I don't get it either.
Before that, she was listening to really good stuff. I was introduced to a lot of things like Smashing Pumpkins and the Cardigans.
Right.
And all sorts of things. But then, what was on popular radio was just saturated with, oh, it's terrible.
It is terrible.
I don't want to get going on it.
Yeah. Well, the 90s weren't bad. I mean, there was a lot of, like you said, the Smashing Pumpkins, you know, Nirvana. You know, that was like the last era of rock, kind of rock music, really, you know.
Right.
I like Soundgarden, bands like that.
Love them. I love Chris Cornell.
Oh, he was incredible.
He had the voice of the world.
Yes, he did. I was heartbroken when that happened. Ugh.
What?
I was heartbroken when he passed away.
Me too.
I was a big fan. Here's somebody I had on the show that you worked with, Susanna Huffs of the Bangles. Oh, yeah. I had her on the show.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
When was that?
It's been a while. It's been, you know, many years ago, but you actually wrote a song that she sang, right?
That's on my album. Well, I did a version of it,
right?
On my album called Catbird Seat, and that's my least favorite album that I've ever done. Mm-hmm. It's got some really good songs on it, but I don't know. I don't like the way I was singing. I'm kind of a chameleon in a way.
Yeah. So am I.
Are you?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
I can talk to anybody.
Yeah. And you can be anybody.
Yeah, it's true. It's kind of fun.
Sooner or later, all of that being other people or being other parts of yourself, they have to kind of come back, and then it's you.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And
I think that's what you're hearing now from me, anyway.
Right.
And yeah, sang with Susanna and on her album "When You're a Boy."
Mm-hmm. Was that Wishing on a Telstar?
Wishing on Telstar.
Wishing on Telstar.
That's so funny because the person that just called me was the co-writer of that song.
Really? Huh. And let's see. You did something here. Or something. Who appeared at the festivals in Holland, England, and Germany and opened for Warren Zevon? Was that you? And John Hyatt and Taj Mahal?
I don't think I did that.
Okay.
I don't think.
Okay. I saw some of the bands you guys did open for with the Chartbusters. That was cool.
Yes, Split Ends was our favorite.
Was Split Ends?
And then we were put on the road with the Undertones.
Mm-hmm.
You remember the Undertones?
Yeah, I do.
We loved them, but they despised us.
Really? Why?
Because we were too pop.
Oh, okay.
And also because when we played with their audience, they were so punk.
Mm-hmm.
And I had just gotten a couple dresses at in Louisville where Elvis gave things away. I can't remember, but they were gold lame with like little chains hanging, and I had red boots on, and so people were like throwing things at me, like, you know, ice cubes and lemons, and grabbing the mic out of my hand, and then so it was like kind of like Andy used to tell me stories of the Mods and the Rockers,
Right.
how they'd have these fights back in the day, and they'd all be, and it was the same thing with us with the Undertones. Wasn't a great parent, but we loved them.
Good thing you weren't with the Sex Pistols.
And I loved them. Yeah, what would that have been like? Well, I met Johnny Rotten at the time. He was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember those days. I was in broadcasting school when the punk scene hit. Remember the Dead Kennedys and all those guys. What's his name? Dury, Ian Dury. Remember in the Blockheads?
Ian Dury.
Ian Dury.
Ian Dury, I think. Dury.
And the Blockheads, yeah. Hit me with your rhythm stick and sex and drugs and rock and roll. He was yeah.
He had this great quote that I've lost it.
Mm-hmm.
So good. You know what song I love? I don't know if it came out then or later. Who did that song? Walking on the beaches, looking at the peaches.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know who that was?
I remember. Yeah.
That wasn't a really good movie, which I can't remember the name.
I can't remember now either.
There was a lot of great music in those days.
Yes. Oh yeah. I had a punk band.
You did?
We were just playing around, but I wanted to go into a studio. We were called the Drugs. Well, we had a lot of fun with it, you know, because punk was fun. It was a lot of fun, you know.
It was irreverent.
Yeah.
And it was nanny boo boo.
Yeah.
You know, so I think I liked it because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just wanted to say something that I just wanted to be part of that really vital scene that was happening in Boston.
Yeah.
It was real, much more real than the singer-songwriter stuff, which started becoming pretentious a bit. The Eagles.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Back when I was in California, like I knew Glenn Frey before
Right.
the Eagles. How far does your radio station go out?
Oh, I'm all over the world.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because, it's just funny the way different musicians are with other musicians.
Mm-hmm.
Andy would make fun of somebody like Glenn Fry because of the way he talked.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Come, let's get together and pick.
Mm-hmm.
Which was okay. So there's like kind of country influence was
Right.
happening in songwriting.
True.
Late 60s, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for songwriters.
You know who they make fun of a lot? Everybody loves to imitate this guy, Joe Walsh.
Okay, so my friend Terry Sachin, who worked with the Beach Boys,
Okay,
was good friends with William W. Fuqua that I was talking about, who wrote Rodeo Clown. One time brought over Joe Walsh to see if he would want to produce me, and it's when I was married to Andy, and Joe Walsh told Terry later, he goes like, "Oh no, I can't produce her. I could never be around that guy. I don't want to be around that guy."
How'd you meet Andy?
Andy was, I guess he was seeing a friend of mine, and she was not at her house. I was staying at her house, but she wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a knock at the door, and I opened the door, and there was Andy, and he goes, "Is Della here?" And I went, "No, but I am, and I write songs. You want to come in and hear some?" And he came in, he heard my songs, and then I think, okay, I can stay in America if I get together with this person here. And there you go.
Yeah, I did a Zoom interview with Andy. He's a nice guy. He's really a nice guy. I don't think him and Sting got along too well, though. I don't think he likes.
Did you do the interview with Andy?
Yeah.
When?
Oh, not that long ago. Maybe I don't know, 6-7 months, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Tell him I said hello.
Okay. Yeah, I'll interview him again. We always, we keep in touch.
Good.
Yeah. I want to mention.
Funny.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. We were talking about the bands that the Chartbusters played with, and you talking about Boston, the Cars. You guys played with Cars, right?
I did recordings later after the Chartbusters broke up. And I was pregnant.
Right.
Did some recording with Elliot Easton. Leroy from my band. I don't know what happened to those because there were some really good songs, and Elliot played bass on a lot of them too. Yeah, that was fun.
One of the bands I admired too, you played with, was XTC. I always liked XTC.
Oh, we only played with them once. I love them.
Really? They're a great band.
Great band.
Yeah.
What was that guy's name in XTC?
The lead guy. Oh my gosh, you're putting me on the spot here. I know he was afraid of flying.
Yes.
Yeah. And because Todd Rundgren produced some of their music too. I talked to Todd about XTC.
But didn't he do an album by himself?
I think so.
Was it XTC or him that had "Dear God"?
Well, they also were a psychedelic band that they did.
I don't know. Well, that "Dear God" song is one of the best songs. You know which one I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah. What's his name?
What, Andy?
I think it is Andy. You're right.
Not Partridge.
It's something like that. Yeah. I can't remember now. God. Oh, the Dukes of Stratosphere. That was their alter ego band. And they put out a couple of albums, and it was incredible. Very psychedelic. Sounded like the Beatles.
Dukes of Stratosphere. I'm going to write that down because
you got to listen to that. That's some of the guy. Andy Partridge. Is that it? Partridge.
Andy Partridge.
Yeah. Partridge.
How did I remember that? I don't
It's
know.
amazing.
I know, no brain. Dukes of
The
Stratosphere.
Dukes of Stratosphere. They're very psychedelic. A lot of songs sound like the Beatles. And
You
it's
want to know something? When I was married to Andy, he would
Mhm.
always talk about Zoot Money and the Big Roll Band that he
Right.
was in,
Mhm.
and Soft Machine,
the soft, yeah.
and very just touched on this other band
hmm
that Zoot Money George had that Andy was in called Dantalian's Chariot.
Yes, I know who you're talking about. Was it a progressive rock band? I think.
Not
No?
like Emerson, Lake and Palmer or anything. No, they were like very psychedelic. But
Right.
he never played them. Well, you couldn't really play things like that. I mean, there was no way to get to that kind of music unless you had the album. But later, I don't know, like 15 years ago, I found them online, and this is fantastic
Mhm.
music. It
Yeah.
was a really great band, and Andy's playing was amazing in it too.
Hmm. He's a good
Do you know
guitar
what
player. I do.
Yeah.
And he's a very good guitar player, by the way. And
By the way.
he's put out some good solo albums.
Very good.
That's why I interview him, because we always promote his albums.
Yeah.
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 I got to
What's-
talk about I grew up with your dad.
You did?
Basically, yeah. I watched the Dean Martin show. Since I was a kid. And your dad was always right there on the piano with his white hair, you know. Dean Martin would slide down the pole. One time he went through the piano.
Crashed the piano.
He crashed the piano, yeah. What was it like?
I have
What?
all those videos. Somebody gave me a bunch of Dean Martin videos. I don't know
Really?
how to watch of his show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
What was it like
And
watching your dad on TV?
what?
What was it like watching your dad on TV?
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't? No?
No, I thought it was too corny. It was like not. Well, it was in the mid '60s, right?
Yeah.
No. I didn't watch it, but later, of course, I saw those shows. I loved it when he was with Jonathan Winters,
Yeah, he was funny.
and all these amazing people were on
Yeah.
with my dad.
Yep.
But my dad's another story.
But, he wrote one of the best love songs ever. That's incredible. And he made Dean Martin with that song. I didn't know Frank Sinatra sang that before he did. That song goes way back. I didn't
Way
know
back,
that.
40,
Yeah.
40. Yeah.
Exactly.
Have you heard Frank Sinatra's version of it?
I've never heard it. No.
It's really good. I think I have it somewhere, but you can probably hear it.
You ever think about doing that song on your album? That would be cool. That would draw a lot of attention, though, right?
I think Dina Martin does it.
Yeah.
Everybody, I'll do it right here.
Yeah, but your dad wrote it. Oh, yeah, you can do it.
Everybody falls in love somehow. So one time when I saw him playing with Dean, Dean Martin, now that was a nice guy.
Did you know Dean?
Change all the lyrics, like "If I Had You in My Shower."
That's funny. Did you know Dean Martin?
I met Dean Martin not through my dad.
Mm-hmm.
See, my parents were divorced.
Okay.
Long story.
Okay.
I'm not here, but anyway.
Yeah.
So they were divorced, and my father to us was a spiffy man that drove cool cars and threw double mint gum wrappers out the window. That was awesome. And then he would take us to Tail of the Cock, which was a restaurant.
Right.
Studios. Anyway, so I because I thought it was corny. I guess if he had asked me to go to the show, I probably wouldn't have gone.
Hmm.
But I did meet Dino and Dina Martin,
Mm-hmm.
and so became friends with her, and then spent the night at their house one night,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how I met Dean. And then, oddly enough, I was coming down the stairs, and there was my dad.
Huh.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Things are really weird in LA, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
What
not always what they seem.
did your dad put out any other albums later in life, like solo albums
We
or anything like that with
we're the
piano
kind of
playing?
people that do that, but how would he have done that? Like I'm sure it wasn't even in his mind,
Right.
unless somebody had come up and said, let's record your songs.
Mm-hmm.
He wouldn't have been thinking of that on his own.
So you guys didn't do any duets or anything together? Him playing piano, you singing, or anything like that? No.
No, but he did come to see me and my band one time in where were we? Palo Alto or somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And it was when we were playing with the Undertones, and
Right.
people were throwing things at me. So I'm sure he appreciated that.
I'm friends with Janet Robbins. Her dad was Marty Robbins, the great country singer.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a similar situation. He never brought his work home. He was dad when he was home.
Nice.
But she didn't like country music, and she was a rocker. She loved rock, but so she kind of distanced herself from her dad's life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now she's an ambient artist. All ambient music. But yeah, she's very interesting. Yeah.
What kind I love like ambient, just like this
Mood
music.
music. Yeah,
right
me
here.
too. I like it too.
I listen to that when I'm going to sleep. I try to, or else I'll put, depending on what kind it is, I like it just being on.
Right.
It's ambient.
Background music. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like John Cage. Did you ever hear that
Yeah.
story?
Mm-hmm.
Where he was at a party and they had classical music on, I guess, and suddenly a cat ran through and knocked over the record player and ran out the window screeching, and he goes, there's music.
Mm-hmm.
Or else just air. I like the music that's here right now when it's silent.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not really silent.
I grew up with like Pink Floyd.
I love Pink Floyd.
Yes, Jethro Tull.
I used to love him too.
All the prog rockers. I love progressive rock.
Okay.
Always did. Yes.
You know who I went out with when I was living in New York?
Who's that?
When I came back east, I lived in Pennsylvania. I lived in New York. I went out with Ian McDonald.
Oh yeah, I interviewed Ian.
I had no idea.
Yeah. He passed away.
He'd take me to parties. There'd be all these British people there. This is after Andy. I knew he was in a duo called McDonald and Giles, but I had no idea about the rest of his music career.
I think King Crimson, right? And Foreigner also, I think.
Well, Foreigner, then I did know
Yeah.
that he was that, but that was a little later.
Yeah.
Yeah, he liked my music though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
Your music's great. So, I got to ask this. Any chance of the Chartbusters getting back together again?
Ace
Or you-
is gone.
Yeah, after he's gone, it's over, right?
No, and Leroy is gone.
He's gone.
Leroy
Okay.
moved out to California, and he wasn't in it for a while, but we still carried through
Right.
with Ace and different guitar players. Another one, Pat Wallace, who just died last week. So, no, that's not going to happen.
Okay.
Again, it was happening for quite a while, even during when the compilation many years ago came out.
Right.
We did a show. Yep, we did a show, and it was great. But then that was that. Oh, we did a show, and the very next weekend, Asa died.
Wow. How old was Asa?
He froze.
He froze?
You froze.
Oh, I froze.
There is snow out there. Maybe I'll freeze.
Is it really? You know, I interviewed earlier today Dave Mason. I had Dave on today. Before
Dave
you.
Mason?
Yeah, Dave Mason before you.
I played with him one time.
Did you?
Well, I'm open for him.
Yeah. He's going to have a pretty good sized tour coming up, and he's got a memoir coming out. He's gonna do a blues album with Joe Bonamassa coming out.
So my friend, remember I was talking about Terry Sachin, the one who'd worked with the Beach Boys and who brought Joe Walsh.
Yep.
He also worked with Dave Mason. Was
okay.
Road manager, whatever.
Right.
Terry died. Everybody dies.
I know. Sad. I was a big Jeff Beck fan too. So that was tough.
I loved him.
I loved his music.
That was the Yardbirds that I loved.
Yeah. A great band. Great band. Why was your dad called Kermit?
That was his name.
It was a real name?
Kermit.
Really?
Kermit Lipschitz.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, from the old country. Kermit Lipschitz.
How about that?
And then my grandparents changed it to Lane. But Kermit. Okay. Kerm,
yeah.
Kerm.
That's a first. I've never heard a first name.
Yeah, a couple
Kermit.
People called him Kermit.
Yeah.
Polish guy.
Oh, it's Polish. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to ask you about Songbird Sings. Is that still going on in your workshops? You have a workshop coming up, I think, don't you?
I'm doing the Artist Way.
Okay.
I facilitate that. Have you ever heard of it?
Artist Way? I have heard of it, yes.
I've been facilitating that for years.
Okay.
It's so good. Wait, do I have the book?
Is it Julia Cameron?
Julia Cameron.
Okay.
She was married to Martin Scorsese.
Really? Wow.
But this book changes lives or gets them going.
Okay. What's it called?
What?
It's Artist Way. Okay.
Artist Way.
Right.
A spiritual path to higher creativity.
Okay.
It's so good. And so I did it a few times, and then I started teaching it. Well, you don't teach it, you facilitate it. It's so good. That's what I'm doing. And then the workshops for my nonprofit. I have a nonprofit called Songbird Sings.
Songbird Sings, right.
Basically what it does is help people who've experienced trauma tell some of their story in song.
That's incredible.
And then I record the songs. I was away for a while. And anyway, I have to relearn my recording stuff. And record the songs, and then there's one album that I put together of songs from the women, but I work with domestic violence survivors and childhood and veterans.
PTSD, yeah.
Guys and women in prison. Trafficked girls. Wow. American girls have been trafficked.
That's so huge.
They're not going to be into any kind of country or even rock.
Right.
They're into hip hop and rap.
Yeah.
So when I was working with them and recording their songs, I pretended I was Jay-Z. And you know what? That was so fun.
Yeah.
I have those songs.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're kind of amazing. And the girls would, well, first they saw me and they went like, who is this, old coming and what is she going to do here?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them were black, but some were white, had been sold. Some had been kidnapped off the
That's
streets.
crazy. That's unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Of course, now everybody knows about that. But
Yeah.
it was hidden, and music is so healing, and writing your own music, your own song, gives you some hope and some joy in your life, and you maybe think you're not like just defined by this terrible thing that's happened to you.
That's such a great idea. I've never heard that before. To put it all in lyrics and record a song. I mean, it's incredible.
And then I got one of the girls. Well, they all sang eventually,
Right.
but I thought, like, well, okay, they can have their verses. They can rap their verses,
Right.
and we'll pick something out of their lyrics to be the chorus. And then I said, okay, who wants to sing the chorus? And this one girl, she was very shy. I got her to sing with me in a private room, and then she came back, and her voice was good enough to sing that chorus, which was everything that has happened to me has made me stronger. That was the chorus that kept repeating.
Yeah.
In between the verses that were being rapped by these young women. And then afterward, they were just astounded, because I put all this music to those songs. Yeah, I want to keep doing that forever.
Yeah.
Talk about coming from the soul. It's so healing for me to do that stuff.
But it touches so many people too that are in similar situations, to hear that,
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that.
Wow.
People, it's good to hear good things in the world, people doing good things for change, all you hear is the bad stuff, war and this and that,
I don't
murders.
It's just so awful now.
It is bad.
Martin Luther King Day. This is an important day.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't want to hear all the negative people that are in Washington now.
That's all you hear, Politicians battling each other back and forth. Who cares,
Who cares?
Who cares?
We care, but go to another planet.
Well, we're working on that. We are going to Mars soon. I think I'll go with them.
Yeah. So whatever, where Elon Musk lies, I don't know where heart or soul lies, but
yeah, I think he's half alien. He must be. Okay, Robin, here's your final question. And I ask everybody this question, and I get some very interesting answers, okay? If you had a Field of Dreams wish, like the movie, to perform with, collaborate with anyone from the past or present, who would that be?
Bono.
Bono. Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to know him, and yeah, I would just off the top of my head, I would say, and nothing else is coming into my brain, except I love Bert Jansch so much, or Neil. I'd say Neil too.
When was the last time you talked to Neil?
Long time ago.
Really?
Yeah. But I know he listened to our records.
Yeah. I wonder how his son is doing,
Which one? The one that really yeah, I know.
The handicap one, right? He's
yeah. Well, the other one had something too.
Yeah.
Do I have 2 minutes here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
I had that baby back in 1969. The one I
Okay.
wrote the song. It's on Instant Album.
Okay.
And in the year around 2007, 8, we found each other.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
And he played bass in Eels.
Are you kidding me?
Eels.
Really?
Yes. And my good friend Jocelyn Heaney, who was
Right.
helping me write my book,
Right.
was his girlfriend.
You're kidding me.
No,
Wow.
so listen to this. So we go out to California the first time I'm going to meet him. And there's a movie that was made about me, a documentary. Did you know that?
No, I did not. I did
gonna have to
not.
send
What's the name of it?
Oh my God. You're so great. I love you. You're like a It's called When Things Go Wrong, Robin Lane's Story. It's Candide. And then I found myself in the garden. Anyway, so I go out there to meet him. His name's Adam Siegel. He's my bio son
Right.
in Eels. Jocelyn He's my really good friend. She was E's girlfriend.
My goodness.
Go to Adam's house, and Autumn DeWilde comes over. Have you ever heard of her?
Mm-hmm.
You have heard of her.
Mm-hmm.
She's made tons of videos.
Yeah.
Really great videos. And she grew up, and her brother was best friends, grew up next door to Carrie Snodgrass,
Mm-hmm.
who has Neil's other son.
Right.
And Autumn is best friends with my bio son, Adam.
Wow.
And Neil's son was her brother's best friend. Then we go to, it's just like these little things. And then Adam was telling me one time, because Eels played at the bridge.
Yeah, yeah. That benefit thing. Yeah.
And then they were driving up the hill to Neil's house in a
Right.
bus, Jonathan Richman
Yep.
playing his crazy songs. And, two of my guitar players were in the Modern Lovers.
Okay.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Asa and Lee were
Modern
Jonathan
Lovers.
Richman in the Modern Lovers
Yeah.
later. Like all these like interconnections. It's so crazy.
That's
So-
unbelievable.
We're talking about this.
That is unbelievable.
You mentioned Neil. Had I seen Neil?
Yeah.
Sometimes I can go on, blah, blah, blah. But
Mm.
anyway, I just thought it was such a cool connection. There's so many connections. in
We're all
life.
connected somehow. I believe that.
And we're not even, what's his name?
Yeah.
Kent, what's his name? 6 Degrees.
Oh
of
yeah,
Separation.
yeah. It was yeah, I know who you're talking about. The guy from Footloose, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Bacon.
Kevin
Kevin
Bacon.
Bacon. That's funny. And he's a musician now too.
Maybe to him too.
Yeah. That's great. That's incredible.
Well, so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Robin. You're a wonderful person. You're a great music artist. Beautiful voice. You should be in demand. Once people hear this album, I think you're going to get, if it goes to the right people, I think you're going to get a lot of people. You're going to get a lot of calls.
I hope so, because otherwise I could be under the bridge. And then, in my little tent playing, and I'll have a little record player playing, my album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever.
You know what? The people in Nashville need to hear it. Maybe some DJs out in Nashville.
Well, do you know them?
My son's in Nashville right now, but he's not a DJ.
We'll figure that out.
Okay.
I have this wonderful publicist who you got all that info from.
If the Nashville people hear that album, they'll flip. I'm telling you. I know a few country artists. I know the Oak Ridge Boys. I know those guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a start.
That's a start.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Robin.
I'm going to send you things. I'll send you
Okay.
a link to the movie and whatever. The video come out tomorrow of when
Awesome.
Woman Like That. See the all I'll ever need video?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to send Ann all the published links. Once I publish the interview, it's everywhere. Spotify, Apple. I mean, I belong to, I don't know, 30 different streaming services. So it's going to be everywhere.
So the Robin Lane, THE Robin Lane.
Right.
.com. And also I have a Patreon site. So patreon.com/Robin Lane. Join my Patreon page.
I will.
It'll keep my healthcare alive.
Okay.
You know, because you have to pay for healthcare.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not that old, but
I'm getting there.
Yeah.
I'll be 64 this month.
Well, you're getting there.
I want to mention to everybody, though, purchase the latest release, Dirt Road to Heaven by Robin Lane. You can buy it at Amazon.com. You can also buy many years ago the complete Robin Lane and the Chartbusters album collection at Amazon.com. You can visit www.therobinlane.com, her official website. You're on Facebook, Instagram, www.patreon.com/Robin Lane. And I just want to mention www.songbirdssings.org. And I'm also putting up all your albums, doing the discography thing, all your Chartbuster and solo stuff. What was that?
Give me your address.
Which one?
I mean, like,
email?
Send it where I can send, stuff to you. Instant album.
Oh, okay. Or do you want my email or my home address?
No, I want an address I can actually send a real album to you.
A real album? You want me to give it to Ann, and then Ann will forward it to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Ann Layton. Yeah. She I love Ann, by the way. I've known Ann for a long time.
She's great.
Yeah, she's cool. We first hooked up, and I got my interview with Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull through her because she's known Ian for years. Yeah, she's a cool lady.
Low key, as far as I know, she knows everybody, but
she does.
She doesn't go there and talk about it or anything.
No, and she used to write for Hit Parader, I think Circus Magazine, a bunch of magazines back in the rock and roll days. So, yeah, she's been around. She knows a lot of people. Robin, thank you. God bless you. Keep doing what you're doing. And we all love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Adios. I'm getting out of here.
Okay, ciao. Bye.
Ciao.
Bye.